For this assignment, we're going to be working with pastels. Pastels you should be familiar with. You've worked with them in both Design 2 and also at the beginning of the year in painting and drawing. Design 2 you worked with just regular oil pastels. They are the cross between a crayon and an oil paint. They are very waxy. When you use them, you use the colors themselves to build up the layers rather than blending with your fingers. The water-soluble oil pastels you used on your sketchbooks, and these ones can actually be mixed with water, and they create more of a watercolor technique. For your technique, you're going to choose, you're either going to use the regular oil pastel in the background and on the table, or the water-soluble, and then you're going to use the opposite one for the object itself. I'm going to start with using the water-soluble for my back wall. The thing to know is that the water-soluble are actually in the box that are over on the lighting table. They have the paper around them. Nowhere does it say water-soluble other than on the box. The regular oil pastels are actually in the bucket that is next to the box, and they have no paper on them. You're going to start by just applying your color. You can mix it. I'm going to add a little bit of white in here. Now I can choose to either just apply it right on the paper and then take my paintbrush just with water and blend it back and forth, and it will mix and create more of a watercolor for you. You can mix it so much that it just clears it all. Or you can actually dip it itself in water. So I'm actually holding it in the water and then rubbing it on there, and it gives you a really heavy, flat look. I can do the same thing with the white, blend right over it. So you get more of it's a thinner look as opposed to the heavy layers of just a dry oil pastel. So then I can go ahead and do the bottom. Just by mixing it in the water, I get a really bright color. By taking the paintbrush to it, it really blends it and waters it down, gives it more of a thin, lighter color. Actually go back in it, start to add more of the shadow underneath it. Let's move a little bit and see if you can see it better. Now you need to let this completely dry before you do the front part, because it just doesn't mix well. Wet. And then for the main part, I'm just going to apply really heavy. So I'm going to get two different textures and two different looks to my picture. I'm going to have a really watered down background and then a really heavy, almost waxy looking object. It sort of adds a contrasting look to your picture. So you can go in it and add some shadows. Remember, if I'm using the complementary color, I always want to end with the color the object is. So I mixed red to get more of a tone, but I don't want the red to show, so I'm actually going back over it with the green. I want light highlights, get my lighter green in here, and then I can go back and mix it with some white, or I can actually use yellow in there for the highlights. When you're done,